Well, good afternoon. I just got out of a visit to the VA, following up regarding some stuff from the accident I was in, and I'm inspired to make a video now. I was walking around the halls of the VA, going between the different places I needed to make appointments, and I saw the different veterans missing limbs or with traumatic brain injuries. Just guys, some of which are on the borderline of being a vegetable, guys missing limbs. And all I could hear was in my ears was Henry Ford's International Jew as I walked around looking at these poor saps that have been suckers for these wars for Israel like I was. I could have wound up getting hurt like one of these guys. I'm very lucky, and I count my blessings that I did not. However, this is just one VA in one corner of the country in San Francisco. These wars of division between the Goyim and these different nations have been planned. This has all been part of a Jewish agenda to rototill the earth and sow chaos so that the people will demand the world government in this Hegelian dialectic where the Jews are providing the solution to the problems they create. So if you haven't listened to Henry Ford's The International Jew yet, I recommend the one that's narrated by Linder. He's a little spicy. He calls for some things a lot more extreme than I do, but his commentary is still very good because it shows where public thought was in 1920 compared to now. And when you see the stuff they'd already achieved then and how they were commenting on it and how much more they've achieved now, everything's in there. No, the VA is in Veterans Hospital, Veterans Administration, not Virginia. I saw in the comments. It's just so heartbreaking to see that everything here was planned. The creating these wars with mass casualties to demoralize the population, the destruction of family values and civic values so that the Jews can more easily control a demoralized population. This is all planned. And I really am just saying it's not fair that all of these men and women that I saw in the hospital are going through all this suffering as a result of these Jewish wars of aggression. And even if you look back at the Vietnam veterans I'm seeing around the halls of this hospital, the Vietnam War was engineered. The Gulf of Tonkin was all that. Henry Kissinger and the Jews that ran our Foreign Affairs Department, our State Department. It was all engineered to create an environment where the men that were of good character were overseas fighting a pointless war, such that the Jewish people that were the revolutionaries could institute their Frankfurt School-style social revolution in this country, the sexual revolution, where the men that would have put a stop to it were off fighting a war with no point, just to cause mass casualties. I think that the Jews have to realize that their plan is out there now as much as when Henry Ford wrote The International Jew or had it published. They are exposed, and all of the media in the world isn't going to stop the Goyim from knowing. And so long as if they don't call off this plan to continue to degenerate our countries, to destroy them, to call for these open borders, so long as they continue to push these things, it will continue to be exposed that these Jews are behind these programs of destruction. And I have to say, this is analogous. If they continue in this behavior, this is analogous to a suicide by cop. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but there are times when people go up to police and try to incite the police or threaten the police into using lethal force against them as a way of committing suicide. So they, if they don't have the courage to pull the trigger on themselves or slit their own wrist, they walk up to a cop threateningly and then get the cop to put them out of their misery. It's called suicide by cop. And I would have to say, if you look at peoples as individuals, as nations as individuals, and the globe as a community of individuals, I would have to say the Jew in the room is charging at the police, trying to get the police to kill them. This is suicidal behavior. There's no way they think that they can continue to get away with this stuff. This is delusional. I mean, the suffering that they have caused. I mean, I don't advocate violence, but what Bowers did is only a foreshadowing of what's to come if they don't stop. People, when they wake up to this stuff, get very angry. I've had people come to me and say, "I'm recently awakened, Pat. What are we going to do?" And to say, the first thing is make sure you don't have a firearm within arm's length, because this can, when you wake up to what's going on, when you understand exactly who's behind societal decay, behind these wars that are designed to grind us up like meat in a processing plant, you can get very angry. And as the people that have been the traditional supporters of Israel wake up, as these Protestant Christians wake up, as the different goyim in this country wake up, they're going to turn. Some of them are going to get violent. And I urge members of the Jewish community to start speaking out like Ron Unz has begun speaking out with his articles about Jewish supremacism at Harvard, about the intentional anti-white programs that the Jews have wrought upon the different white countries. It's time for the Jews to stand up against this genocidal, destructive plan of degeneracy that they have for the world's nations. The Jews aren't going to get their world government. Now that there's an internet, now that people are talking, it's not going to happen. And it's up to the Jews to decide how their stepping down from power happens. Will it happen peacefully, or will it happen violently? If they don't do it peacefully themselves, it will come violently as a matter of course. And that's not something I think they should be seeking. I want them to stop their suicidal charge at the metaphorical police officer that is the Goyim. Please step back from the ledge, Jews. This doesn't end well. Have a good one, Goyim.